Seen bad feet can scare away a good man.
That's right. But here to make sure you don't become callous about your foot care this winter is Dr. Callous about your foot care?
That was really good.
Dr. Maasi J. Smith, welcome.
Thank you for having me. How are you guys?
Good, good. But you know, after seeing that clip, I can say I never want to be that close to feet like that. So you have to explain to me why you decided to become this type of doctor. Do you have like a thing for pretty little piggies?
No, no. Actually, it was a more no, it was more of a close to my heart thing. I went to Hampton University, and I read an article on how many African Americans were losing toes due to diabetes and peripheral vascular disease, and I decided maybe I'll look into that profession to try to save them. So that's my noble way of going into a profession where I figure I can contribute.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, how do we keep our little toesies pretty for the holiday season?
Right. Well, you know, it's the winter time. So the one thing we wanted to talk about is moisturization of the feet.
Moisturization. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
The ash is in full effect during the holiday season.
You know why? Because we jump into hot showers during the winter.
Okay.
Because it's so cold outside. So that tends to dry out the feet a lot more. So good lanolin. Good Kerry lotion is always perfect.
Okay. What about shea butter, cocoa butter?
Shea butter, cocoa butter, vitamin E. I stray away from petroleum jelly. I like the shea butter. I like the vitamin E. I like those type of those products because they add antioxidants to the skin to really make it healthy and supple feet.
Well, what are some of the common issues you see going on with feet around this time of the year?
Well, around this time of the year, it kind of goes year round.
Okay.
Some of the things that I do run into every once in a while is frostbite. You know, some people don't, wrap their feet carefully or keep them warm enough during the holiday season. They start having sharp pains in the lower extremity, and sometimes we can have a little small amounts of frostbite.
Now, do they know they have frostbite?
Well, they come in and say my feet really hurt.
Oh, okay.
But that can be contributed to other things as well. But when it comes to the wintertime, outside of moisturization, the feet really don't get damaged too much, but it's good to keep them nice and warm and, enclosed in shoes.
Okay.
Okay, so it's holiday season.
The
girl's got to look good.
Yes,
you can't wear flats with your sparkly little New Year's
when
number.
You're doing your shopping.
So what are the rules to wearing high heels during this time of year? Because I'm not going to take mine off.
I know you're not. And I made that mistake on a show before, saying you shouldn't wear them, and I heard from some patients.
That's not an option.
Here's the thing. One, a lot of women have to learn how to walk in high heels.
That's true.
I've walked the streets, and I've seen them. Women try to put their feet flat, or they try to only walk on the heel, or they only try to walk on the balls of their feet.
Right.
No, go through the whole progression of walking. Heel, midfoot to toes. Just walk normally.
Heel, midfoot to toes.
There's actually videos on YouTube that show you how to walk in high heels. A lot of women don't use them. A lot of men can attest. We've seen a woman walk around and she's stumbling. She's trying to figure it out.
There's nothing worse than a woman hobbling in heels. That's not attractive.
I've seen it.
Wow. I've seen it too.
And you've brought some examples of different type of high heels that we should or should not wear, right?
Now, this is Lolo's heel.
Woo! And red bottom, of course.
Beautiful heel.
Yes.
Okay, I will give you that.
What is that, like a 7?
A bit high.
It's a bit on the high side, yes.
Can cause havoc on the feet.
Oh, Lord. Don't tell me that.
Can cause havoc on the feet. But I tell you
tell
what,
me
though.
What I'm doing wrong.
But I tell you what, no, here's the thing. It does have a nice base, so it does lift your foot a little bit, okay?
Yes, it has the
it does. So they're not as bad as they appear.
Okay.
What you're concerned about is your foot being in this declined motion, and women that wear these shoes all the time can have shortening of the Achilles tendon. Also high heels can irritate the back of the heel, which is that pump bump, where you get those little Band-Aids to put back there. You familiar with those? Yeah. So look, this is a shoe that can be worn. Typically, you bring the shoes out for special occasion or if you're doing some shopping.
Right.
Most high heels aren't meant to wear all day, every day.
No.
If you do that, that's when you come to a surgical specialist as myself, and I have to fix the problems.
Right,
so you should wear a flat or like Lola, the Uggs, and then when you get to the party,
you're not supposed to say that out loud.
Oh, sorry. Wear comfortable shoes to the party.
Right, exactly.
Then once you get there, you put the high heels on.
Exactly. That's a smart way to do it.
And how long should you stand in high heels? Is there a typical amount of time?
You know what? It's according to your foot type. Yeah, if you have the bunions, if you have the hammer toes, then you might.
Which Lola does not.
I don't see any bulging in here, so she's good. That can determine how long you can wear a pair of shoes. Like someone like you with perfect feet, may be able to wear them for 4 or 5 hours and not have a problem and dance and be okay. But somebody like some of my patients, maybe they get in them for 2 hours and have to figure something else out.
I read somewhere that a woman can only wear high heels for about half an hour before her feet start hurting. Is that true?
Well, before you start, sometimes, again, it all depends on the structure of your feet. I mean, if you're flat-footed, it's different. If you have a high arch foot, it's different. If you're already suffering from metatarsalgia, which is pain in the balls of your feet, it's different. So everybody's different. They probably took a general term and probably averaged it. So maybe if you're wearing high heels and you have some level of foot problem, about a half an hour, you may start feeling things. Back problems, you can.
So what's the acceptable height of a comfortable high heel? I know it depends on the person, but, you know.
Well, what I did was, since we're talking about high heels, I got one that's, see, you know, look at that. Look at the difference.
Big height difference.
Look at the difference, okay?
I know,
it's a height difference.
Which one do you prefer to look at?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Louboutins are perfect. But now these, you may be able to wear them a little bit longer.
Right. And that is a more sensible.
Right. And it's a beautiful shoe.
Because it's not as steep, right?
Exactly.
It's not as steep.
It's not as steep. And just what you're saying, that's exactly the benefits of wearing a shoe like this. Also has a little cushion for the bones of the foot, and it has a little bit of space. It crouches you a little bit up front, but for the most part, that's a better shoe that you can wear for probably a longer period of time.
Now you got to get to this blue shoe over here, because I'm looking at this like I don't see how anybody could wear a shoe like that. That's just artsy.
This is a shoe.
That's a shoe.
It looks like a piece of artwork.
It is artwork.
I don't get it.
In fact, the designer Julian Hakes is he's an architect, designs bridges.
Wow.
And when I first saw this shoe, I was flabbergasted. I thought it was the most phenomenal shoe I'd ever seen. Because you have to really look at this. See, I'm a foot doctor, so I'm a foot nut, I guess.
Okay.
So the curvature, natural curvature of the foot is there. Have you noticed there's no arch? Okay.
Yeah, you would think that's bad because there's no support there.
But it allows the arches just be free. It just allows it to be free. And when you step down, there's a little bit of, you know,
you get
a little give there to give you a little bit more support. Also, he covers the metatarsal area for cushion. And it's a great shoe. I had someone trying on this morning.
What size is this?
It's in the European size, so I'm not sure.
Let me see if I can fit
it. It's my size.
Yeah.
Okay, well, while she's trying that on.
Oh, wow, she can fit it. Wow.
Look like Lola's going home with a new shoe.
How do I do this without being too, weird?
There you go. It's not weird.
Not being too weird. I like that.
Yeah, these shoes are available all over Europe, and they're soon coming to the United States as we speak. But it's a beautiful shoe.
Pretty comfortable.
And it's really comfortable, yes.
Now, on this shoe, Lola's toes would be out. So let's talk a little bit about going to get those pedicures. Is it a good thing? Is it safe to go to the nail salon?
It is.
Because I hear that you never know they could have utensils that are not thoroughly sterilized. How do you even know?
Well, you know, let's say one thing. In all my years of practice, I've only had one patient come in where she actually was damaged by a pedicure place.
Okay.
So for the most part, generally they're pretty good. But I would say you have to take them at face value. Unfortunately, you know, you're in Philadelphia, you go to North Philly, and it's a little corner spot. You don't know, you're not so sure what you're getting into.
If it looks sketchy,
if it looks the part,
chances are it's sketchy.
And you know what I've heard? Which I don't get pedicures, but what I do, I know.
Right.
But what I hear is a lot of women bring their own supplies. You know, you can go into CVS and you can bring your own supplies.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very good point.
See, I didn't know that.
Okay.
But now I know. You can bring your own supplies. So now you don't even have to worry about that. I don't know. I'm not sure about the whole sterilization aspect of it. Maybe you boil them or something, but at least you know they're
you soak
yours.
them in really boiling hot water.
And you know they're yours, and they're only being used on your feet.
Okay. Now you also have other great tips like this coming out in a book you're working on.
Yes.
Tell us about it and when can we get it?
Well, it's due to come out in the spring. We don't have the title yet exactly, but it's almost done. It's a foot health natural foot care book.
Natural
foot care. When I talk,
as opposed to unnatural.
Unnatural. Well, I have a lot of patients who don't like chemicals, don't like medicines. So at one time, I had a foot care product line: soy, aloe, and vitamin E, and tea tree oil, and good products like that. So I was becoming the holistic foot doctor, and because I noted that, I wanted to bring a book and put all that together of different things you can use for your feet that is natural, that you can, you know, alternating hot cold baths for edema, watermelon to decrease edema in the lower extremity. Now, all this stuff, of course, you always pay attention to your primary care physician.
When you say watermelon, eating the watermelon?
Yes, because it's a diuretic. Natural diuretic.
Gotcha.
So don't put the watermelon on your foot.
It's
like, what do we do with the watermelon?
But you know, but you got to remember that in certain instances you wouldn't do that, depending on if you have some sort of pathology. But just, you know, transient edema. I mean, using aspirin and lemon juice in combination to remove calluses of the feet because of the breakdown of the protein.
Now, this is some great tips. We can't wait to get that book, but you have to tell us because we have to go about your other book that's already out now. It has nothing to do with feet.
No. My horror novel, Mischief Makers.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
I know.
From feet to Mischief Makers.
Yeah, I know. Look. Hey, this is a labor of love. I love horror. I'm a Stephen King guy.
Because you see a lot of horrible feet. Is
yes.
that what it is?
I do have a foot doctor in there.
Oh, see? Scary feet.
But it's a great thriller novel. I mean, it can be picked up on Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. And it's getting great reviews, which I'm very happy about. And I look forward to really getting it out there.
Well, thank you for helping us put our best foot forward.
Boom, boom. She'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. All week.
No, thank you so much.
No,
and I promise I'll wear these sparingly.
Thank you. And don't forget your copy.
I will not.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.